Christ, you guys need to fucking learn some stuff.
Whatever.
I don't know what McLeod was saying, folks. He's kind of crazy. Something about bacon?
So someone said push button. I replied with receive bacon because that is what the internet meme, internet thing is about.
If you need to say it's an internet meme, then it's clearly not that good of a meme.
Hey, Eric.
It was around before fucking memes were a thing, so, just fucking get over it.
Pre-meme.
But memes are eternal.
We got Don in the car, ladies and gentlemen. We got Mike Flood because, he's just bored and has nothing better to do, so he's hanging out with us. Making us look cool.
I think the thing is, Pappy decided to fucking sulk. So, he was available for jumping on and shitting on Pappy. But,
We'll see if they do anything with the 4-timer, but so far they're just, getting all of their fucking iHubs and Faith reft and aren't doing a fucking thing, so... I don't know.
I should have bacon made for me during the show, right? And eat it during the show, right? That's what I should do.
You know what's a good combo? Bacon and garlic.
Really?
Weird combo I had as a kid, yeah.
Bacon and what?
My son was getting up. He was going to make some bacon.
Is that a weird combination?
That isn't a weird combination, is that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a weird combination.
I mean, if you're chomping down on a bulb of garlic, then yeah, that's a bit weird.
No, just some garlic powder to season it.
Yeah, no, that's
that's completely reasonable.
Okay.
Oh, but candy bacon is too weird for you. Fuck you guys.
Yes, that's because bacon is not a sweet, Dawn.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Bacon is a savory staple.
It's called.
If you want to have sweet and savory,
no,
you can have both. You can have both.
Not with bacon.
You're talking about a cut. You're talking about a cut of meat being a sweet.
You get
you can do
sweet and savory with your pastries, or
All I'm hearing is British cowardice.
All I'm hearing is US excess.
It's not excess if it tastes good.
It's not excess. It's just stupidity.
You actively have to add sugar or a sugared substance onto bacon in order to make it sweet.
No. Here's my thing.
How's that not applicable to pretty much everything? Make it sweet by adding sugar. I mean, maple syrup.
Because we said bacon isn't a sweet, and you guys said yes, it is.
Actually, it would be sweet if it's maple cured. It has a sweet taste.
Yeah, because it's got maple in it.
No, it's just maple smoke, baby. Maple smoke. No sweeteners.
I mean, I'm just gonna look at my my cider here and go. Nobody had to add anything to my cider to make it sweet. They just had to ferment it.
That makes it less sweet technically. So go ahead, try again.
Because it is, because it contains natural sugars.
Natural sugars, exactly. It's a sweet thing.
So what you're saying is there had to be sugar.
Bacon does not have natural sugars, is what I'm saying.
What do you mean bacon doesn't have natural sugars?
Yeah, bacon has natural sugars in it.
Okay, that's an exaggeration, but it's not a sweet.
Everything has natural sugars in it. Well, technically, yeah.
Well, not everything. It depends.
Not everything.
Someday, Dirk, I'll get you to eat candied bacon.
I think that needs to be a project.
I'm not doing it.
You're a fucking coward, then.
I've agreed to do.
You're a coward, then.
I've agreed at some point to do your stupid scones and sausage sauce thing.
What?
Candied bacon is a step too far.
Scones? What is?
What are scones? We don't have scones here.
So if we call them scones, you call them biscuits for some fucked up reason.
Actually,
biscuits and gravy?
No, scones are distinctly different from southern biscuits. Sorry, you're not even close.
In what way?
They're really not. I've seen the recipe. They're not.
I'd love to see. I want to know.
Okay,
I want to know how they
give me the texture of a scone.
Crumbly,
bready. Generally quite savory.
Dry. Not
Nice,
dry.
nice when you add cream and jam and.
I mean, depending on how long you bake them, yeah, they can be fairly dry.
Just asking basically because biscuits are light and fluffy and not crumbly.
But then you just,
They're very
don't bake them as
moist.
hard.
We So yeah.
I think
Depends on the kind of biscuit.
Southern biscuit for biscuits and gravy.
Oh,
I-
yeah.
Dirk thinks candied bacon means like a candy coating of like a hard shell. No, it's just like a layer of sugar has been melted.
And again, like, it's not gravy, it's got fucking lumps in it.
What are you
It's
talking
a sausage sauce.
Sausage gravy.
Sausage gravy.
All I'm hearing is more cowardice.
Yeah.
Hey, I've agreed to try it. I've told Bruden I will try it, as and when I manage to get over to the US. But like, yeah, your candied, sugary, sweet, whatever the fuck you want to do to abuse bacon is not on the menu. Thanks.
It's not abuse.
Because, like,
How is it abuse? How is making something better abuse?
Hold it.
Not better.
So
If you think you can make bacon better, you are.
you know where you always find candied
Sorry,
bacon?
no, we're having another miscommunication here
This
because
is-
they think
Dirk,
that
They
it's
think.
Dirk,
they
Dirk,
think that
Dirk,
having pork belly streaky fucking bacon is actually bacon.
Dirk, the thing is, you're talking to Americans who think everything can be made better, even if it's already been made better. It can be made better because
Well, when we
Everything
Americanize
is made
food, we make it better.
with
Because-
seasoning.
because the line always has to go up.
No.
Yeah, that's a
It's
fair
just because
point.
it's just because pure bacon is missing the one ingredient that makes everything better.
Fat.
Freedom,
True bacon.
Cheese.
Of course.
The right kind of cheese makes anything better.
Potato patch,
I
baby.
can give him that point.
Potato patch fries, bacon, cheese sauce, beef
Bacon, egg, and
gravy.
cheese.
Put it all on, baby.
I feel like the right chutney makes cheese like that much better.
Chutney
Now
makes
I'm
cheese
hungry.
better.
The cheese
Oh.
is making the chutney better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, vice versa.
That's right. Back bacon, baby. That's the good shit. Nice, thick cut.
But I haven't found any food that the right kind of cheese can't make better.
Yeah, no, I'm
Even
quite willing
cheese.
to exceed that point.
Makes other cheese better.
Breakfast cereal.
Cake.
Yeah.
You never had
Grape
cheesecake?
nuts.
I'm
Grape
sorry, did
nuts
you
is
say cake?
excellent with cheese.
Cheesecake.
Not cake is not cake. That is a whole different thing.
Because bang, cheesecake. There, you've now made your cake better.
No, that's disgusting.
What do you think cream cheese is,
What
Dawn?
the fuck, Don?
I hate
Cream
cheesecake.
cheese is the main ingredient in cheesecake.
Well,
You're a heathen.
Dawn's just insane.
No,
Like,
she's just in denial. That's all it is.
Either that, or she's only had cheesecake made with really shitty cream cheese.
Oh, cheddar, like,
Because
I don't like-
there is like store brands out there that pass themselves off as cream cheese that are absolutely terrible.
I don't like cream cheese at all. It's got that weird aftertaste.
could you imagine if someone was making a cheesecake and was like, I don't actually have cream cheese, but I do have cheese and I do have cream, so I think I'll grate some of that
Right.
cheddar and then add some cream to it. That ain't gonna do it.
That's not going to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
hmm
I mean, apple on a cheese board is like.
That's never something I've had. Like,
No,
No.
realistically, you want to add the bits to a meat board, McLeod. I have to say, I think the French get this one right. You have a
Yeah.
board of meat, and then you add cheese to it, and then you add a couple of extra things, like maybe a little bit of bread, or a little bit of apple, or like some bits of fruits and stuff. And
That's fair.
one thing the French got right. One thing
Oh,
the French
so
got right.
So you've got a meat board, and you add a bit of cheese and some bread, and so you've got a sandwich board. And...
Well, No, you don't eat them all at the same time necessarily.
So
But like,
It doesn't matter. It's
a very modern.
It's just a disassembled sandwich.
Yeah, it's a very modern thing, all right? It's a deconstructed sandwich.
No, it's literally like.
Max got a fair point.
Bring it
It's
to you
called
and you go,
deconstructed.
hang on. I ordered a sandwich. Why did you bring me the constituent parts? Like I asked you to actually make it. Like
Charcuterie.
I asked for a roast beef sandwich, and you bring me a cow and some wheat. Shut up.
I did not pay to make this myself.
When their chef's too lazy, like.
Mrs. Eric brought me a excellent
they're
fish
too
sandwich
French.
yesterday.
Too French to make it for you.
can you imagine if that was the case? Like they were going to make a sandwich and they're like, but the chefs went on strike. How are we going to deal with it? It's like just bring it all out in constituent parts and be like, it's a cheese board with meat and bread. Yeah,
It's a new gourmet
Boom.
experience.
A
You
gourmet
are the
Guys
chef,
are bad.
It's
and
like
we're going to charge you extra for it.
It's like when
Charcuterie.
the guy.
You're paying for the experience, not the food.
Exactly. You see,
It's like paying $12,000 to go to Salt Bay's restaurant just to have him put salt
and
on your food.
halfway through making your sandwich, Gordon Ramsay comes out and shouts at you.
You fucking moron!
You call that a sandwich? You bloody git! What the hell is wrong with you?
What are you, a fucking donkey?
You call that a scone? Ugh. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is a family show.
What are you
No.
putting the condiments on the cheese?
That's
side?
how my
Oh my
I mean,
God.
that's how my family talks. So
If we had like a cheese tray, this would be a better show.
Oh,
I'm just
God.
saying.
sir, are you saying that?
I'm gonna go get a cheese tray right now. I'm gonna go cut up some cheese. I'll be right back. We'll have some cheese on the show.
Oh, okay, we've turned it into that sort of.
So what is this basically turning into, like a show where everyone's gonna start drinking wine? It's basically going to become a book club.
I'm just telling you. You know,
Actually, on that.
I am reading an incomplete book at this point.
I may or may not have a refrigerator full of cheese. I don't know. A lot of cheese here.
Are you from Wisconsin? Like,
No,
is this some
no.
kind of quantum question? Like,
We might do a lot of cheese trays here at the homestead.
I mean, Mike's talking
And
about
what have you
wine.
got against Wisconsin, eh?
Eh?
I don't have anything against them. I'm just saying. What are you like? I didn't say I had anything against them. Are you assuming that I have something
I mean,
against
you're
Wisconsin?
suddenly interrogating people about being from Wisconsin.
Eh?
Eh?
What's the deal with that?
Wisconsin's like, you know,
I can't take you seriously doing that voice, Randy.
all I'm hearing from Mike is cowardice.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Dang, I guess I took one out of Pappy's playbook right now.
Indeed, you did.
Maximum cowardice.
But yeah, on the topic of wine, I actually tried a really nice red wine last weekend.
you did?
Chablis?
It's called Apothic. It's a very interesting blend. It's got about 5 different grapes in it. And it's actually from California.
Pretty sure that's the shit that my aunt used to always buy. Like, one of my aunts was very much into, like, wine tastings, and she, like, repeatedly buy bottles.
Yeah, this bottle called Apothic was actually very smooth. I was very impressed opening it up and just kind of drinking it as Christ Jesus says in Twitch chat. You know, it's not bad wine, and shoot pigs. I agree with it as well. You know, it's good to go for the price. We paid around like £7.50 for the bottle.
Pretty good.
And
Well, yeah,
So-
that's a
so-
pretty
It's like-
good price.
There's a
I was gonna say, that doesn't seem...
Yeah, that's
there's
very
a
expensive.
Very reasonable.
there seems to be an Apothic wine, red wine from Lathway. It's called Redhead's Night of the Living Red, which sounds good.
So yeah, I definitely recommend.
Sounds like a
kind
shitty
of-
porno.
Well, I mean, Christ Jesus, if it's 16 to 19 Canadian, then it needs to actually get a price in real money before anybody will believe it.
Now that's just hateful.
A little mean too.
Hey, buddy. Buddy, that's a little hateful.
It's a little bit hateful.
You should consider toning that down just a little bit, you know.
I think.
Yeah, it was a little bit cheaper than that. I think it came in at like 10.5, 11 USD for the conversion. But yeah, it was decent. It was very nice for just like drinking in the evening.
America money is worth about 1 billion rubles a dollar.
I will say I'm very I like WA WAUGH sellers, especially their Chardonnay. It's really good, and Palmaz. They're pretty good. They're two brands I really like.
You see, Mike, if you want this to become a wine and a book club, we can absolutely make it happen because we are cultured people, unlike you cowards.
We really can. Like as I was saying, I'm reading a book at the moment, The Horse, the Wheel, and Language. It's really an interesting read. It talks about how basically every modern European language traces itself back to pretty much Ukraine.
Really?
I'm really serious. Like the region just north of the Black Sea is pretty much where Proto-Indo-European was spoken.
Just a quick question: is the author Ukrainian?
No, David W.
Oh,
Anthony. It's a scholarly work based on linguistics, anthropology, and archaeology.
Oh, okay.
And it's not like it's not something that came out after all of this propaganda. This was released in 2007. So.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I was gonna say for once this week we actually have Eve news. Was the other thing I was gonna say.
No, we don't.
Well,
what are you talking about?
Whoa! We've got
it's
another
true.
5
It's true.
minutes.
We have Eve news.
We have news. We've got another 5 minutes because Dawn is
here. We could talk about it, but Dawn can't talk about it for another 5 minutes.
We made an exemption to the rule 2 weeks ago. We are not making another exemption now. We've got another 5 minutes.
It's fine. I think we can fill 5 minutes with just this one little revelation. Yesterday, CCP revealed that all of Eve is in fact an April Fool's joke.
That explains a lot from their perspective.
That explains so much. So many questions that have gone unanswered are now finally in the light of day.
So many questions have been answered.
So is Eve just a Star Citizen April Fool's joke?
If that's the case,
this is what our game is.
if that's the case, are the CSMers who become CCPers like the punchline to that joke, or what?
Yes.
Well, they're a punchline to a joke.
Yeah, congratulations to Suetonia on becoming CCP Kitsune.
No, whoa! You got the
Kestrel.
wrong word.
Kestrel, sorry. They're both fucking Teldari frigates.
You got the wrong
He's
word.
T1 at the moment. He's T1 at the moment.
Congratulations to Suetonia, who has become CCP Kestrel.
I mean, I'm sure he feels it's a step up in terms of being able to, influence. I guess, but I guess I'm going to assume that it's going to take him a little bit to actually, exert that influence. But condolences, regardless of that.
Yeah, congratulations on the new job and condolences. You now have to deal with CCP directly.
And he's probably signed an NDA, so he can't, just go out and say stuff. But he'd signed an NDA for being on the CSM anyway. But now he has almost like a gag order, like a gag order as such.
Now he has a paycheck.
Yeah, exactly. Well.
But yeah, if we're gonna break into the news a little bit early, then let's kind of go around the table on what people think they're gonna do with the new CSM spot. Like, there's an open CSM spot. Do people think CCP are gonna fill it? What's gonna happen with with CSM 16 at this point? What do you think?
I think they're gonna leave the slot open.
But who was next in line?
Next in line would have been Mark Resurrectus, and then after that, Uriel Antio, whatever, the law guy.
Did he quit the
Uriel,
game?
the
though?
Admiral, accepts as Uriel.
Make sure. Does everybody know who left in the audience? We say that for the audience.
We just talked about Suetonia.
Okay.
Sorry. We could have been very clear. Suetonia has left the CSM to become CCP Kestrel, so there's an empty slot in the CSM. Yeah. So next slot would be Mark Resurrectus, who came in 12th, because we've already had one resignation from the CSM this cycle, just as a reminder. Pro God Legend left, and so that slot went to Arcia Elkin, who's been on the show before.
I wonder if Suetonia technically had to resign. I mean,
So is he just the CCP spy within the CSM?
I mean, I don't know that there's anything in the CSM document that says that you can't be an employee of CCP. You just have to be a player, and CCP can play the game now.
Oh, I will say an interesting news that's relating to CSM resignations. PGL hasn't played the game in months. His corp just left test yesterday. So, Infinite Point, which has been in test since Nully Secunda capitulated, is no longer in test. So PGL is no longer in test. Where will he go next?
I mean, it was a test alliance anyway, so we should actually just ignore it at this point.
I don't know, but I will say this. Test, good job. Like, seriously. You have shed the last vestiges of the utterly failed leadership.
Also, by the way, I think this kind of bears repeating because I think a lot of people in leadership positions think that they can dissolve or shift their alliances and think that, like, because they're under a different alliance name, that somehow they are, like, born anew, right? Like, for all of their previous sort of, like, failures and previous sort of issues and like,
players,
you know,
like Pepperidge Farm,
like,
remember.
Yeah, exactly. Like we've dealt with this with, you know, Bob Corps, and we've dealt with this with you know, with all sorts of different different alliances, you know, forming, you know, basically splintering into the wind and then reforming into as different alliances. Like it's pretty much standard operating procedure now.
Yeah.
Hyper here's. Should I drag Hyper in? Oh, there we go.
If you could
Hyper.
unmute Hyper. But yeah, he wants to chat, apparently. I don't see why not.
I'll unserve mute him. There we go.
Oh god.
Hey,
Can
Hyper.
I talk? Yay! Hey
Yes,
guys, how's it going? Thanks for having me on.
Not too bad.
It's going swimmingly.
Yeah, well, where were we? You kind of like killed the conversation by jumping in.
Piggles.
Sorry.
We were talking about Piggles.
That topic's so forgettable that of course I forgot about it.
Oh yeah. Well, what else has happened this week? A lot of dreads have
21
fucking
after,
died.
We've got Total Leave News freedom now. So
Okay, so let's see. A lot of dreads have died from multiple groups, not just goons. Volta and Snuff lost a bunch of dreads yesterday.
Isn't it beautiful though?
It's so beautiful. If anyone needs to buy dreads, please PM me. I will get you set up with a brand new revelation. That is for goons only, though.
I have 6. I missed out because I was doing work stuff, and I was like, oh, I would have loved to jump into that and lose a dread finally.
Yeah. I was at work. I'm sorry, I was at school. Fuck school. And I was at school, and I just see a lot of dreads, dead dreads. You know, Body Slayer being an absolute Chad, jumping in a fucking Vehement because guy has bigger balls than Pappy did. So rest in piss to his Vehement. I'm pretty sure he already bought a new one. I'm not sure though.
Well, yeah.
Let's see, what other news do we have this week? Oh, I'm being PM'd. I was told, no, Tree Fitty is not enough for a dread. For those asking.
Well, I find it funny how, you know, they get really super hyped about that sort of stuff, and then we have yesterday where they completely bail out on the fight.
Oh, they completely fucking... Yesterday got at, like... the second our fighters got on top of them, our fighters just started mulching them, and like they lost like 12, 13 bazzies, and immediately just XX starts losing things. Guys, we must leave like as quickly as possible. And then Constantine with his whole bullshit he said. But
Yeah, I mean, their thing is, oh, blobbing goons. Goons are blobbing so bad. Like, dude, you guys have blobbed us for how many times over the years?
They,
And
they,
now,
they basically blobbed us for an entire year with the invasion.
yeah, and then they had the
18 months,
audacity
sorry.
18 months.
to say capitals are ruining the game. Like after we just had, we had a dread ball brawl, we had Snuff having dread ball, and these dreads are basically very hard to replace right now. I've been doing PI, unfortunately and painfully suffering doing it, and I've done maybe enough over the past month to maybe build with just PI 1 to 2 dreads, and I had like 65 planets.
Hyper, just be sure to send your medical bills and your replacement mouse bills to CCP.
Yeah, my carpal tunnel syndrome to CCP. Like, my
Yeah.
Ooh.
wrists. But go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say yesterday was just a prime example of just like, oh wow, goons are them screaming goons are blobbing. Like, who fucking cares? Get good, bring more people. Like, I'm just sound like mittens for a moment, but if we're blobbing you, why don't you have people you can call. If you're really gonna bitch about us blobbing, because you do the same thing to us, so we bring more people. Welcome to Bat Phones Online. That's what EVE is. As much as everyone hates it, that's the game. If it's whoever can bat phone more people. And, we lost a bunch of dreads, so we moved more people down. So as a big, hey, fuck you. So.
Well, yeah, and, it's kind of, space is very sparse right now. Right now it's just coalitions spread all the way across, like fire. All the way from the far east to, well, formerly Faith of Ballas. But it's just funny because, I'm not sure if you remember, Mittens told live on INN and the Meta Show, fire don't help tests or else. They fucked around and now they're finding out what happens. And then all this BS about like, oh, goons lost a trillion ISK or something stupid right now. Like, we don't care. This is why you guys lost the war. They're too busy and focused on the ISK war, where we are focused on objectives. And luckily, even though despite the war, despite getting all of our structures just destroyed, it being down to one system or a couple systems, we prevail because we will throw ships at it until it is dead, and they just can't deal with that.
Yeah, exactly. Despite the fact that we threw everything in the kitchen sink, against 2 keep stars, 3 keep stars.
No, I think
in
5. It was a bunch of shit. There were 4 in FTC Delve alone.
Yeah, it felt like Groundhog Day. Like we threw so much stuff at them, and like if they wanna claim victory by like looking at a battle report and say that they lost the least amount, but failed at the objective, then clearly they have not learnt anything.
No, they haven't.
So one thing I gotta say is there's someone in chat talking about like, oh yeah, and it like there were init supers ready. XIX mitted supers. Like, it's not like you guys could have dropped. Like, you guys had a fully online Fortizard they could have put super carriers on, they could have put Titans on if they really wanted to. And Skynetted over, but they didn't because they were fucking scared.
Well, yeah, because they know we have the balls. It was the Team America World Police. Like, you have balls. I like people with balls. Or something stupid like that. I mean, we're not going to hesitate. And it's not even like all of our super deployed. It's just a deployment for fun. And our guys are having a good time. And then Init wants to drop the big dick. So
Init wants to put their dick on the table. Let Init put their dick on the table.
Exactly.
Here's the other question that kind of underlies this general sense of je ne sais quoi. What
Did
the
you
fuck
just say
are you
French
doing?
things?
I
Maybe.
should surrender.
Dennis said what?
Like,
He said, "I don't know what" in French.
Oh, I didn't know what Dennis said.
The question that underlies all of this questionable decision making is, what the fuck are you saving it for? Like,
Exactly.
I think realistically, we can all look at the state of the game and go, huh, games
No,
gone
So,
downhill.
Dirk, I know what they're saving it for. They're
Why
saving
the
it
fuck are
for
you not
because
just like
they're-
having fun with
they're-
it while it's around?
they're being told to save it because they don't realize that when their master basically tells them to jump, that they're going to be their supers and their titans are going to be test and pandemic hordes meat shields.
Well,
they just don't know it yet.
it comes down to who's gonna commit. Yesterday we had a choice. Do we want to put carriers on the fort? In that there was a chance that fort could have died. We put carriers on the fort and said, "Fuck it, why not?" And you know what? I was fully ready for Pappy to dread bomb me, and I was excited. But that didn't happen. So you know what? That's the game, though. Like, people are going to take advantages where they can get them, and like that's reasonable as an alliance. But then don't put out some bullshit ping saying we're attacking you because of some other bullshit. That was fucking infuriating. Like, you fucking poked at us first. They were poking at ESO for what? Fucking 2 months? Like,
and assisting tests, which we, as direct, as Mittens had said, it's made it clear to them: if you do this, we will take our pound of flesh. I mean, look at all the coalition we've destroyed. Legacy's dead. Test is on life support. Fire. Let's see what's gonna happen. You're probably gonna get fucked up. I mean, Horde is only gonna want to do so much and spend so much energy on that, and really they only have Horde. Maybe a token frat fleet here and there, but in the end, it's still our giant coalition of Imperium against now Fire, which Fire has to hope and beg that their masters send some help over to them, lest they be destroyed.
See, the funny thing is, like, we're going at this in a sort of slow and sort of like incremental kind of thing up towards Horde and where Test is and that kind of thing. Like, Horde and Test are basically just doing the same thing that, say, a casino would do when it comes to sort of wanting to spend your money. Like, they're giving you just enough of their fleets for you to basically waste all of your shit while not committing their big shit.
Oh yeah, it's proxy wars basically on their
Yeah.
This is again. This is like, to put it in a bad analogy. This is basically space Vietnam. Like, it's.
Well, also, if we wanted to go the really slow and steady rate, we just kill all the iHubs, put our own, and then wait 30 days for jammers and do it the Pappy way. But we ain't got time for that.
Yeah,
Nobody got time for that shit.
There's a couple of things I want to address real quick. First, what happens after Faith Abylis and Tenerifis and whatever the fuck? We don't want that space. We've been very clear about not wanting that space. But Jesus Christ, it's the only place that anybody is fighting at the minute in EVE. So yeah, we're
anyone
gonna
remember
get
Tribute?
involved.
Welcome.
I just want to say that, like, from a
Yeah, Tribute version 2.0 is a very good point, Mike. And
from an
the
inner
other thing as
perspective,
well.
from an inner
just real
perspective,
quick,
just
Mac.
okay.
I just want to remind everybody who's watching and on the show as well. Nobody remembers the fights that people didn't jump in for. You remember the 9TAC4 fights. You remember the UALX fights. You remember all of the shit in NPC Delve where you jumped in and had some fun and lost a bunch of shit along the way. You don't remember the blue balls. You don't remember just like leaving it for another day. You don't remember those fights.
Well, to counter that the line members do recognize that and they do feel the fatigue. But like I said, it's just a mindless, numb fatigue and not the active fights. So it definitely wears down on people for the blue balls, especially the people that like. I don't know if I can actually say it. Let me check something, and I might be able to reveal some stuff.
Typical Hyper Viper moment, boys. let me go check some real quick.
Let's check to see whether this is an obsec or not. Like, hang on a second.
Let me see if I'm gonna get killed or not.
I mean, Hyper's just off to check with his Diplos, guys. It's fine.
Yeah, let me check with my Diplos.
But yeah, as was said, like you. The funny thing is, when it comes to corps and alliances and stuff like that, like you don't remember, like no corporate alliance is going to basically say, "Oh, remember when we didn't commit to this, or remember when we pussied out here or pussied out there." Like, it's the times that you did commit, it's the times that you did fucking go and do something, and actually be fucking, actually be ballsy about something.
Okay, and kind of summarize. So basically, when they obviously Horde came down all the way from. Now they live in Owasso. No, the Paragon
Falls.
Paragon Falls. Thank you. They came all the way down. That's like 10 regions down or something like that. I mean, granted, a lot of jump bridge network, which is really helpful. But they told their guys that they were trying to come to get us to form and see what we'd do, and that they were successful in making us form. And I'm just like, what? And the even line members, you can hear it in the voices, just kind of say like, "What are you?" That I guess that makes sense. Like they're trying to justify it in their head. You can see like the dead air and the wheels trying to turn, trying to make it like, okay, so we went down here and spent 2 hours, and we gave up as soon as we started losing stuff. Okay. But yeah, no, it's
How do we spin this into something positive?
Yeah, it's like
But-
that is you really have to work hard on that.
Yeah, actually, good point. Like, the creative application of spin there, I guess in that sense is impressive. But like, performance on the field, not so much.
Yeah, so there's definitely some fun stuff, and just when it's always fun to see the enemy, and unfortunately in the intelligence side we can't always release lots of stuff and very much information just because of the OPSEC, but it is the tears from that fight were absolutely exquisite. Like I went and seasoned some steaks, got those going, and they were delicious. I mean, the tears were absolutely flowing. So, I mean, not only did we throw our dick out, we harvested a good amount of tears. So,
Family
it's what?
Family show.
Oh yeah, it is a family show.
Yeah. Not really. That's just a joke.
Oh, I'm like, yeah.
Well, yeah, Eric likes to pretend that we are a family-friendly show and a family-friendly audience.
Yeah, sure.
Eve Online, family friendly? No.
I have a mic or a camera, Brisk. I just came in late, so I didn't want to like mess up camera stuff.
I don't have a webcam.
Lies.
You save it for your OnlyFans?
I have a GoPro.
Only
Oh.
clouds?
Only clones. The Eve top website.
Oh god, is this how we segue into Eve's April Fools this year?
Oh, that's actually an excellent way to go. That got copied by everybody.
Which was absolutely hilarious. And they really they did a good job on it. I can give credit where credit is due. They did a good job on it. With the kind of like video and everything as well. For those who don't know, Eve announced a social media app. CCP announced a social media app to tie into Eve yesterday as part of their April Fools, in which you'll be able to link up and potentially hook up with capsuleers around the world.
I think that's called Eve Meetups.
It was called Divinity Social.
That
yeah. It looked pretty cringe, but in terms of the actual work that they did on it, it was quite impressive.
I mean, not gonna lie, that name sort of actually sounds like they
Sounds like a
actually
shitty dating app.
Well, it sounds like a shitty dating app, but that does sound like a legit shitty dating app, though. That's the thing. Like the name is actually not too bad. Like it could be so much worse.
I mean, it could be Tinder. Though Ganon's it talks in Twitch chat about Icelandic grinder. And I
Well,
just
the
want
thing
to
with
point out,
Icelandic grinder is you have to have an additional thing attached to the Icelandic, grinder to make sure that, like, you're not related.
well, they have an app for that as well.
Well, that's what I
What?
mean. You have to include that. You have to add that into the app.
In Iceland, they have an app that will tell you kind of how many degrees of separation you have potentially from this other person that you're trying to date.
Okay.
God
Number one.
damn.
You dying there?
Yeah, I just find that funny. Just imagine just like, oh yeah, you're dating someone. Oh wait, that's my cousin. It's basically Alabama
We killed
dating.
Mike.
It's like British royalty, right?
There's some. Sorry,
It's the
Did I
next
go too far?
stage.
Did I go too far?
Yeah.
The next stage in evolution.
I was going to say it's the next stage of Alabama dating. I don't think Alabama's quite caught up to the
No,
technology.
it's Alabama. No, it's West Virginia.
That or they just don't give a shit.
Well-
Do you know what they call a virgin in West Virginia? The girl who can outrun her brothers. Okay. Did I offend all the West Virginia people? I'm sorry.
That's pretty good.
All the West Virginiaites.
By the way, I love West Virginia. It's wild and wonderful.
Well, there's plenty of people that thought it was funny and liked it, and then plenty of interesting comments on Twitter about it. And I think even CCP had to redo another tweet.
Didn't they have anything better to do with their time? Like maybe, I don't know, try and
Fix the game?
fix something?
No, because they have to. They have to. Not. They have to find creative ways of not actually doing. What they're being paid for.
This is one of the best ways that CCP could find to continue to be an engageable and fun and great
we might be.
company.
We might be being a little bit harsh here. It might have been one of the few things that a lot of the developers there could actually do without getting, fucking management requests approved in any way, shape, or form.
Well, but it almost doesn't feel like it was that original because you have CCP that did it, then you have Stellaris, then you have was it that
Star
Alpha
Citizen.
game? Yes, thank you.
So,
Alpha.
yeah, Star Citizen.
Then
Hampton.
wasn't there a fourth one that did it too, or am I just forgetting? I don't know, but it was funny.
Probably
It's like
was.
it was like, did they all have like a same meeting together and like, let's make a dating app? I don't know.
They probably all kind of like talk together at GDC or something.
Oh yeah, where they're looking at new NFTs to produce.
It's all a part of their play to earn planning. Yeah, what the fuck is up with that?
I don't know about the coordination, but Divinity Social has been something that's been advertised in game for a while.
Really?
It's on the billboards when you're in stations. Yeah.
Oh. So is that like an in-universe thing?
Apparently, yes.
So this could very well be a April Fool's, not April Fool's.
So how does that work? Like, do people on like a ship get hooked up on the Divinity Social?
It's entirely supposed to be just a bit of flavor.
Okay.
Just
So
a
if you
bit
have
of
a bad
flavor.
breakup
Yeah.
with some of the
Like
systems,
they also have billboard ads for vacation cruises to various planets.
Speaking of cruises, guess what I'm doing after the Vegas week?
Are you going on a
Eric,
cruise?
Apparently you're muted.
I am
Alaskan
going on a
cruise?
cruise.
She's going farming.
By the way,
We're
I
gonna-
figured out it has to do with my alt key, so I'll
We're
figure it out.
gonna go straight to from Vegas. We're gonna fly into LA, do a 5-day cruise, and then go home. The flights are $300 total.
Oh yeah,
I'm-
Dawn going out on the floating petri dish.
Yeah,
That seems like
I
such
get it.
a weird decision after the couple of years we've had, but you know what, Dawn? You do you.
it's fine. I've been
Have
on
fun.
12.
I got to figure out what I'm doing because I'm actually there for an event like the 16th through the 20th,
You should go
maybe
on the
not
cruise with
confirmed,
us.
not confirmed.
Not
16th
get
through
on
the
the floating
20th that I'll
petri
be
dish.
there, and I'm trying to figure out: do I fly home and fly back, or do I try and ask if I can use my return flight? at the end of June Vegas. I'm not sure. I got to figure it out.
That's a good question. You also have to look into accommodations. I mean, unless you know somebody who lives in the area.
I
I
just
don't
stay. I just pay to stay the 3 days extra.
Well, that's not too bad.
That
At least
doesn't
the
bother
flight's
me.
already covered.
And maybe
But-
my flights are covered. I don't know yet.
Yeah. Well, if anyone wants to go on a goon cruise, you can join me.
Goon
My
cruise.
mom and I will be partying like crazy in Mexico.
I don't do Mexico.
You don't have to
Don't
get
drink
off
the
boat.
water.
I
You don't
do
drink
Mexico.
the water because you don't get off the boat much. Like, there's 2 days in, like, one in Cabo, one in Ensenada, and you're just going to do excursions with guides and shit, or stay on the boat, do trivia, drink, eat.
I'm not a cruise guy, you know.
See, people say that until they go on one, and then they find out that they are.
I've never been on one. I've wanted to go on one, but it's just kind of I couldn't last couple years. You know,
Obviously,
minor
yeah.
issues. But no, I'm gonna be taking a long flight down to the southern hemisphere. Be the same time zone as seriously.
Nice. Well, I've been on, this will be my 12th or 13th cruise, so
Jesus
I haven't-
Christ, you've risked the Petri disc that many times. What?
listen, if you don't lick everything, you'll be fine.
But what if
That's really not how
once
that
I
works.
lick
But what if
everything?
the windows
you
look
know,
like
Listen,
candy?
that's how it works. Don't lick
That's not how
everything.
airborne works.
I'm telling you, that's how it works.
I mean,
I didn't lick anything through this
God.
entire COVID bullshit, and I've been, knock on wood here, fine.
That's
Yeah, the
really
problem I've always
oh my
had.
god, that is not how that works.
And yet, I haven't gotten sick, so.
that doesn't mean anything. You haven't been hit by a meteor either. Not licking
Well,
things won't
also-
stop that.
How can you prove
Also-
that doesn't stop
Also,
it?
Dawn, you can be asymptomatic. Do you know what that word means?
Yes, I know what it means.
So it does mean that you can have had COVID without showing any symptoms whatsoever.
I highly doubt I have the genetic markers to cause that.
So basically, what you're saying is you don't believe that asymptomatic kind of like the
Doesn't believe he's lucky
asymptomatic
enough.
kind of thing
I don't
actually
think I'm
exists.
lucky enough
Like,
to have that.
Well, one thing also.
well, my mother was asymptomatic. Let's put it that way. So, like, you know,
Well, none of
it's
my
not a
family
case of
has
whether you're
been.
lucky or not. It's just it's a fact that sometimes happens.
Yeah, but
Like,
none of
just
my
saying
family
that
has
you
been
haven't
exposed
had
to
it
that.
does it. Just saying that you never developed symptoms and that because of that you haven't had it is not like that. That's not realistic.
I don't lick everything. Jesus Christ.
Listen, it's been working. My strategy has been working.
Right up to the point where it doesn't.
If you don't lick anything, how do you get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
That is, you know what? I've had to sacrifice
steel.
Tootsie Pops.
You've what?
I've had to sacrifice eating Tootsie Pops while waiting to not lick things.
Sad.
See, while I was
Wait,
living in
how
San
do you-
Diego.
How do you wait to not lick things? Wouldn't that imply that while you're waiting, you are licking things?
Either way, whatever. Figure it out.
Watch the talk show, ladies and gentlemen, where we have really hammered in on the fact that if you don't lick things, you won't get sick.
Did we just get
wow.
demonetized over that whole conversation too?
Oh.
Not that we make any money on the show.
We
You
did
can't
not
get demonetized if
mention
you
the name
don't
of
make
it.
money.
Okay.
At
Well,
this
good.
particular
At
point,
no point did we mention the name of the thing.
Okay, we're
at
good
this
then.
particular point, though, I hope so.
We deserve it for that conversation.
We'd have to make money to actually get demonetized.
I know.
I mean, that is
When-
also true.
When was the last time you guys got paid for this, huh?
Look,
Well, realistically, the
multi-dollar
word
media
fuck
empire
within the first-
definitely makes,
Some dollars,
rubles.
rubles. There we go.
Like I say,
Hang on, if we're making
word fuck
rubles,
within
then
the first
then-
2 minutes probably kills it.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, we're making rubles now in this.
Well, I
Right, what-
mean, at an at a current exchange rate, our profits can only be expressed in rubles. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm lira, Italian lira, which
So
doesn't even
is this
exist
show
anymore,
worth-
right?
I'm
is this
just
show
gonna,
worth 12 rubles or 19
gonna let you
rubles?
know that Italians don't use lira anymore.
I know but you know, when I was growing up, it was Italian lira.
Oh,
So I like to talk about it. Makes me
Hey,
feel-
I still use lira.
There you
So
go.
fuck you.
Hey, if you shout hard enough with a gun, you can use lira anywhere.
Exactly.
Jeez. Oh man.
So none of this Italians don't use lira anymore.
Hey, I have a funny dad story.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, not me, dad. My dad. Okay.
Your dad.
Yeah, he's like 76, 70 something old, right? So I was telling him that he really needs to watch Adam Sandler's Grown Ups movie because he's never seen it, and I'm like, you would enjoy this, right? And I tell him about the the arrow roulette that they play, right? They shoot an arrow up in the air, and they all have to stay in the circle. Last one in the circle wins, right? If you guys have not seen the movie, this is what happened, right? So I tell him about this, and he starts laughing. And I said, "Why are you laughing?" He goes, "As kids, we used to do that all the time." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" Almost died. That was funny.
Fucking Christ.
I'm like, "Did you
I
really
was
do
gonna
this?"
say-
And he's like, "Yeah." Oh,
Hey,
you're
when
nuts.
my dad was 7, they let him drive the tractor, and they said, "Yeah, just be careful with the clutch. If
Yeah.
you're not careful, it'll flip over on you." And he's like, "Okay."
Just get some maize. Maize. We got a maize poultice. Put that on there. Sorry, if you haven't seen the movie.
I think someone said something similar to Ozzy Osbourne as well.
What? Don't stick your dick in crazy.
No, watch out.
Well,
it
that
might flip over.
depends. Depends. Is it sausage gravy? Is it bacon? What gravy is it that we're talking about? Very important. Did I trigger Dirk?
Crazy. The word was crazy, Eric.
If
Yes,
we're
Eric
making fun
is
of
crazy
gravy-
and referring to gravy as
But also,
Gravy.
don't stick your dick in gravy. Jesus Christ.
I mean, that's not a bad thing to say as well, honestly.
You technically
Whoa,
use it to
whoa,
woo.
What the fuck?
Holy fuck, what just happened there?
Don't
Holy
put dicks in gravy either. That's
RM
weird.
Team
I think-
Carcano.
I think maybe like either something got reset or something at Stream Elements was hacked. We'll see. But
the bot-
I'm gonna say at least we'll get paid for this episode.
the bot went mental. Thank you guys.
Because I'm gonna
That's
claim that
serious
those
rubles.
I'm gonna claim that those tips were legit to us on this episode.
Yep,
That's some
absolutely.
serious rubles.
Absolutely all tips for our stellar advice of don't lick things and you won't get ill. But
or stick your sausage in gravy.
yes, don't do that either. Then
Especially
you
not while you're
probably
licking
won't get
things.
ill. But on that topic, we should probably talk just a little bit about the ongoing Able Gamers campaign.
Oh
Yeah,
right,
let's
it was
talk about
Brisk. Ah,
Well, Brisk, thank you for all of the push to
Rubles.
talk donations. We
thanks
really
for
appreciate
the
it.
thanks for us getting paid today. Thank you very much, Brisk. That was very appreciative of you.
But yeah, no, INN is still dealing with
I hope for my 1/7. I hope for my 1/7 cut of this. Let's put it that way.
Chris, what were you
So
doing?
Able
You
Gamers?
lost a goddamn battleship in Fountain like yesterday. To nobody's. Jesus.
He joined in it. That's how.
He probably had to run away and do lawyery stuff for a bit, and came back, and his ship was dead.
He is like, "Oh, someone help me, God."
Proforix, according to CCP,
I was gonna say,
fun
in Eve, yes.
is not a good. Fun is not a God-given right.
At the very least, it
That
ain't a
phrase-
CCP given right.
That phrase is going to haunt Ratati for the rest of his fucking life. I swear to God.
You shouldn't open his fucking mouth and say stupid shit.
Yeah, basically. Basically, for the
I
rest
thought
of
Don was
Ratati's
talking to
career.
someone else for a minute. I was like, "Who's Don talking?" Oh,
The man will not be able to stay at CCP without it haunting him.
Even afterwards, it's gonna haunt him.
I just
working-
hope that like it appears randomly, like while he's doing stuff, like innocuously, like paying for something like expecting something to come complimentary with his room, like at a hotel or something, coming back down, going, "Hi, yeah, I got this room and it should come with this, but it doesn't," and like the kind of receptionist is going, "Well, having this thing isn't exactly a God-given right, sir."
It should be like one of those
hold on,
inspiration
hold on.
posters.
Having complimentary bathrobes is not a god-given right.
Yeah, just like some kind of Fight Club kind of like subculture thing, right?
Having a non-hostile audience at FanFest isn't a God-given
Oh,
either.
Ooh.
yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Realistically, at the rate things are going, having an audience at FanFest is not going to be a god-given right either.
Everybody's gonna be busy drinking.
I mean, just last night, we heard about a couple people who have cancelled their FanFest tickets because they don't trust what CCP are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
noted that on the actual cancellation as well.
It's like, what's the word on FanFest? FanFest is happening.
Fan feet.
Yeah, it's happening early next month. It's like 4.5 weeks away or something, 5 weeks away. And I don't think anybody here is going. Anybody in the channel planning on going to FanFest?
I'm not going.
No. But I found my Charizard card.
Is it worth a bunch of money? Is it like the one they found?
I love how to any normal person you would say something like that if it was somewhat remotely connected, but like Dawn was just like, nah, it's not connected, but I'm just gonna say it anyway.
I want to go to FanFest. It's just it's like now that travel's kind of opened up, I kind of like overbooked lots of travel. We just did Dallas last weekend.
Yeah,
This
why does
weekend,
going
or-
on a plane any worse than, or any less worse than being on a cruise ship where I can stay in my room the whole time?
There's
Yeah,
less
why,
things to lick.
why would going on a plane for maybe 3 hours be less risky than staying in a goddamn boat with people for a week?
Yeah, but
With recycled air consistently.
But I can get room service.
Well, plus you're only on a plane
That's
for
right.
between
You can
1
get
and
Is that what
4
they call-
hours.
You can get
Well,
stuff brought to you from the communal kitchen.
Yeah.
Where
By other people.
everybody's getting their shit.
Arendis, don't worry, she's not gonna lick any of it.
You know, they have more than one kitchen on the ship, by the way.
Just remember, don't put your tongue on anything from the galley.
Well, and plus if you're licking people on
That
the
includes
plane,
the cook.
people
That
kind of
includes the food.
But yeah, FanFest isn't next year the 20th anniversary or something like that too.
Next year would be, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I think
it's
that'd be
an-
something worthwhile to check out.
It's an
Yeah.
M Charizard EX full art, so
We'll see.
worth about
Hopefully it'll go that long.
$50.
Yeah, I know we've all been saying that for ages now. So
Yeah, but when was the last time CCP was working this hard to make sure it didn't?
that's
Oh,
that's right.
You know,
Sonia.
when we were kids, you just went like, burn.
Well, yeah, I mean, on the Suetonia thing, we've already congratulated him on his new position.
Oh, hold it! I licked my. I'm
Realistically,
sorry,
like-
Don. I licked my finger. Sorry.
You're dead.
Don't worry.
But-
Don't worry. We can
You're
we can
dead now.
sanitize. We're good.
No, you're dead
But-
now.
One thing that
But yeah,
I
on
will
the Suetonia thing, I've got to say that there has probably never been a time in EVE Online where it has been more risky to join that company and,
I have a question. Why?
basically gamble on having a consistent paycheck for the next few
At
years.
the same time, though,
Hey, greatest risk,
I mean,
greatest reward.
there has never
Hmm.
been another time in Eve's history where the job he is taking has been less needed.
Well, I mean,
What job
they're
did he take anyway?
actually hiring players now. It feels like
Quality
lately
control
they've been-
analyst.
Oh,
Oh, that's bad.
Can
Oh my
a
God.
QA basically can a QA basically say this it shouldn't go out like this or no not shouldn't but this is not going out.
I mean, I don't
Jesse's
know if we
broken.
know I don't know if we know the
I'm-
inner workings of CCP that much. That's the thing there.
We know historically that basically every team at CCP has an attached QA and that they do some stuff, and yeah,
Exactly,
but
Britt.
Everybody at CCP has an
on the basis.
So, Dirk, did you just say everybody at CCP has an attached QA?
Yeah,
Every team.
every team
I mean,
at CCP.
well,
has
no,
an
I was
attached QA.
I would be the attached QA to Hilmar clearly is fucking dead or vacant.
Well, the
Hilmar
attached
doesn't have a
QA to
team.
Hilmar it would probably be the empty suit that is CCP Manbjorn, but we're not going to talk about that right now
empty
because we're talking
suit
about
that is
QA.
Manbjorn.
Either that
Who?
or CCP chair.
Like,
No.
Inter-
CCP Chair is doing great work. Have you seen his latest move?
yeah,
What was he
CCP
put
Chair
down?
is
John
like
Rourke's couch. Don't you diss on CCP Chair.
CCP Chair is a fantastic and very valued member of CCP
CCP
and the
Chair and
community.
CCP Water are both unimpeachable. Their work has been flawless.
We
What
will
about-
defend them to the death. That is a
What about
hill I
that?
will die on. But
Damn right.
I mean,
When
if
it
you
comes to
add
that
Pete
QA.
Squash to CCP Water, is he impeachable?
It's quenchable.
when it comes to their QA though, to answer the question of do their QA analysts have the ability to say no, this isn't going out? I think it
I
has
don't
become
believe so.
very obvious from the sheer fact that many patches have gone out recently being broken as fuck that their QA have no power to say no, this needs to go back to the drawing board whatsoever.
I wouldn't be surprised if their QA has the power to say, this is sending me to the bar.
Or is this making me eat fermented shark?
This patch is fucked. You're
No, I
gonna
think the fermented
push it
shark
anyway.
is causing the
I need a drink.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious.
So, Dirk, when are you taking your job at CCP?
No.
Got a new job.
I just
True.
got a new job. I like my new job. I am not taking the gamble on CCP being able to
Dirk-
pay me in 2 years.
Dirk just got a new job that puts the lie to you calling him a coward earlier, Mike. I mean, think about it.
He's working for the French. What do you mean?
Dirk has put his livelihood in the hands of the French.
Well,
There's some
He has-
risky
he has
shit.
gone-
No wonder
has
he
gone
wants
to live-
charcuterie so
Hang on.
much.
He has gone to live among the French and put himself in a position where he could be arrested for having a perfectly natural British reaction of wanting to punch them.
Yeah, how is the invasion
Being
going, Dirk?
French.
How is the invasion going, Dirk?
the invasion. I returned to the UK. I couldn't deal
Oh,
with
okay.
it.
So you're reporting back on what you've been able to uncover. Fair enough.
Yeah.
We're
There was a
reporting back to
there
the
was a
German team.
reconnaissance. Yeah, it was a 3-week reconnaissance mission, and
Dirk is the vanguard for our invasion.
yeah, I've come back. I've reported back on the state of Paris, which is that it's a very nice city with very open streets.
It's very nice.
They
Very
be
nice.
No, it's very Paris.
It's very Paris. Yeah.
So how were the parasites? I mean, prisons.
They were fine.
Dang.
Yeah, they were fine.
I kid, of course.
So
Debatable.
is that train from the UK to France still working now?
Oh yeah, that was how I
Okay.
got there and back, and it's actually very nice. It's quite comfortable and.
Did
in
you order
terms of
food?
their-
Yeah,
You
you
just
do all
have
the
to-
kind
you just
of
have a 3-hour delay in customs at both ends.
Did you lick
It was,
anything?
it was like it was like an hour on both ends in terms. Well, actually, no. In terms of the wait, I was there for about an hour and a half on either end. But in terms of the customs delay, realistically, the worst part was the queuing to get through and get to the scanners and everything. Going through the scanners was about 5 minutes.
Scanners?
The custom scanners where they scan your baggage and your coat and your belt and everything else that possibly has metal in it.
PSA check, Hyper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we call it customs
now.
hyper.
I was like, wow, this is strange. Such strange European and UK.
Because if you take things through customs that you're not supposed to have, you have customs and excise charges. Because we use language hyper and not, whatever the fuck you pretend to have.
Whoa.
Oh, wait.
Although there are certain
wait.
things that you won't just get
Is-
charged with, you'll actually get held and
Oh yeah, detained
arrested
in
for.
the strip search and everything.
It would be a case of like, sir, you're not allowed to take the C4 with you. We're gonna have to charge you for that, but after that you can. Like, it's like no, you are going to be held and potentially charged.
What do you mean? You're trying to take weed through our airport?
Hey,
No.
well,
in relation to C4, that's pretty commonplace in the U.S. because we have permits for that. You can have a permit to carry it for C4. I'm just telling you. It's perfectly normal.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know what you Europeans are so hung up with the C4 stuff.
Yeah, if you're no, I literally was just using some
swear to
random
God,
example.
We are not doing the gun control debate.
We're talking about C4. We're not talking about guns. C4 is
my emotional support.
You don't even need to be
emotional
actually
support.
you don't even need to be actually actively carrying any kind of explosive. If you even have the residue on you, they'll be able to detect that and they'll pull you aside.
absolutely.
Okay.
That is my emotional support IED Roomba. Okay.
Oh my God.
Your emotional support C4 or Roomba? Which is it?
Emotional
It's both.
support
See,
C4.
there's actually a block C4 attached to the Roomba. It works great.
Okay, so going back to the tunnel and the train and the way
What's wrong with that boy?
Okay, so
Yeah.
you went through a tunnel.
under the channel, yes, under the English Channel.
You're okay. Nobody
Um,
touched you. You're good.
I thought that was
someone was gonna go
very. It was all very reasonable, very polite. Everyone was great in terms of the staff and everything. Going through customs, like I say, took about 10 minutes to actually get through once I got there. The queuing was the most annoying part. And yes, I did have food and drink while I was on board, and it was very nice.
Did that come from the common food
It
cookery
did.
place? Okay.
It did come from the same place as all of the other food.
Did
yes.
you lick it?
Well, I ate it, so I assume I licked it at some point.
Just making sure. You cover all the bases here. You might die soon, so you should lick food.
I may have licked things, but I was not licked. Just to answer Twitch chat. So yeah, it was a good trip. Paris is, like I say, very nice, very very wide streets.
Nice. Well, I want to say thank you again for letting me come on. I'm being summoned to meetings, space meeting stuff now.
Oh yeah, space meetings.
Imagine Rendis has to go as well.
I'll be. Well, Rendis doesn't have to go quite yet. I don't think. This is a different thing. But, yeah, I will be back.
So much I appreciate it.
PM.
Welcome anytime, Hyper.
Thanks, Eric.
Jesus Christ.
We're gonna watch this show. We're just gonna laugh.
Yeah, most likely.
That went some really sideways tangent. Yeah.
I mean, that's part of this show.
It is.
It's
You gotta
not
have fun.
anything.
Gotta have some fun. Gotta have some fun.
This is like
It should be pushed to tangent.
tangent.
Babble.
So, Dawn, you now have ample room from some of the alphas in the room not being here now to be able to say what.
What do you
want to
mean?
say.
Dirk was still here and won't shut up. Oh wait, no, Dirk's gone. Sweet.
What did Dirk do?
Where's Caleb?
Caleb's
Uh,
taking a break.
Caleb.
I think Caleb Caleb quit the game again.
Yeah.
Okay.
He hadn't unquit the game. He was just, hanging out.
He can't get involved with the conversations in the game because otherwise probably feel like he'll.
Well, because you guys attack him constantly. He'll say something like,
you
"The
always
sky
take
is blue."
his side.
No, you guys will say. He will say, "Sky is blue," and the rest of you be like, "Oh, so that means that you agree with CCP's motto for how they." He's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
The thing is, Dawn, He'll point to the sky. He'll point to the sky, saying the sky is blue in the middle of the night.
But
And
the
we'll
sky
go,
technically still
"Oh."
is blue. It's just dark out. What? That analogy makes no sense. The sky is still blue. What?
Seriously.
I know. Welcome, Mike. That's why I'm like, just stop attacking people. Stop
Oh,
yelling.
I don't care about attacking people. I just care about weird British analogies.
I tend to attack the you know, the idea or you know, the way that it's presented rather than the person themselves.
That's not how it sounded. But anyways, yeah, not much is going on in Eve other than like our fights are starting to get a little bit more spatty.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
But-
we whelped a fuckload of dreads.
Yeah, and the fights in Eve too. Yeah.
But like, I have no idea, like, what CCP is gonna do to make this game even more slightly entertaining.
Hey,
Hi, Seth.
A wild, angry German appeared.
Hello.
No,
Oh.
he's the docile German. Apple Pear's the angry German.
No,
Apple Pear's not German.
Yes, he is.
He's Dutch. You dumb wit.
And most of all, if anything, I'm the reasonable
thing.
German.
Like
Tell us how
Soth's,
you really
one of
feel.
Soth's ults is actually the angry German. Like,
Without the "the," it's just angry German.
yeah.
And I still can't believe that name wasn't taken.
Is that your like Anger Games character?
No, that's Anger Games admin.
Oh, I was gonna say that'd be the perfect name for your Anger Games character.
Yeah, but that character is also the CEO of Repswarm Industries, so I can't really take him out to do other shit with him.
True.
Apparently, you're not the only angry German out there.
Oh,
You
there's
may have
plenty.
to have,
No,
like an angry German competition.
I was gonna say
How
like,
that works? How would that work?
I mean,
An
Killer
anger
Bee
off.
used to play. I remember when we had Killer Bee. Like he was angry sometimes.
Killer
No,
Bee
he
Whatever
was just
happened?
angry.
he
What?
just scams people out of their money like a
Like-
fucking asshole.
Have you
Wait, what
met
happened?
Killer Bee?
PL paid for him to go to Iceland, and then he was like, "Oh, sorry, I missed my train," and kept all the money.
Wow.
Rip.
According to Senor Grafhelgen. And that's
Graph.
why
I
that
need
is
more
why he
Graph
doesn't
story
like-
times.
that's why he doesn't like Killer Bee that much.
See,
As-
Wrath,
Yeah, but
Thieving
Wrath is
asshole.
another
if we're
person.
gonna get Grath stories, though, we need to get proper Grath stories, not Dawn's version of Grath stories.
Yeah,
I'm
can
not-
can someone get Graph in here for Graph story time next
You'll
week?
notice that Dawn's presentation did not include a single profanity,
Yeah, that's that. It did feel a bit weird.
and Grath
So
fucking swears like
everyone else from Baltimore.
everyone else. Yeah.
Look, Wrath is another person that everyone says he's super angry, but he's also very reasonable.
Oh no, he's it was very comical, the reaction when he popped into command comms and Laz was like, "Wait, why is Graph here?"
Oh,
It's
that's
like
the
he's
joke?
reasonable. He's like reasonable 90% of the time or 99% of the time, but like that 1% when he's not, like, it is explosive.
It's like John Hartley.
You've got this all wrong. Grath is entirely reasonable all the time. When he gets angry, there's a reason.
Oh,
it's like
okay,
horrendous.
okay.
It's like horrendous when he gets
angry.
I was gonna say it's like when horrendous gets that like disappointed dad voice going.
Grath and I agree on a lot of things. I'll just say that.
So,
How disappointed we
how
are with you, Mike.
how angry are we today?
I mean, it's the general baseline, grr.
No, I think we've been laughing.
I'd have to actually give a shit these days to be angry about stuff now.
Oof.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing.
That's the disappointing side of it.
So we are no longer angry. We're just disappointed.
Yeah, we're basically. Yeah.
I feel like there's still some anger
yeah.
in there somewhere.
So where did Dirk go? Is he
Just like
playing
a
with
fat
his
one?
like super special mouse?
I think he had to do space meetings or something.
space meetings.
Dirk has a space job again.
He's making me work on shit, and he goes to space meetings.
I think
Right.
he sits in on space meetings at this point. I don't know that he actually has space meetings. I could be wrong.
Who knows all this?
Someone from Amok was trying to get me to give Amok a shout out, and I was like, "Are you gonna pay me?" But you know what? I'll give Amok a shout out.
They do that.
I mean, someone from Amok got a shout out the other day by Whippler. It wasn't a nice shout out.
That's not a shout out. That's a shot at.
You know, no, I actually, there is someone in Amok who deserves his little vote. Dr. TNT's one of the newer FCs has been getting some good ganks. So
why does he deserve to be shouted at by Whippler?
Shout it! No, that was a dude who was just being a cunt, and Whippler was not happy about him being a cunt. So Whippler decided to return the favor by being a cunt in return.
Yes, I know. I was there.
You?
Did you say the C word?
Are you sure?
He said the C word like 3 times, and it was amazing.
I've been hanging around with Australians all the time recently. Like, it's when
right, excuse it. Why don't you?
Whatever.
I mean, Australians do
cancel me.
use.
Oh no, I'm so scared of being cancelled.
Australians
oh, no.
do use cunt basically all the time. Like it's like, "G'day, cunt."
That's terrible. Terrible.
Oh no, I'm so
This is a family show,
scared.
guys.
Terrible.
The family show. Alabama family or family?
Mike, talk about disrespecting people.
This is on Twitch,
Yeah,
not on website we can't
I'm
mention
just,
or
Like,
we
not
get
even,
demonetized.
not even just like the generic shots at Alabama. Like, talk about disrespecting Eric there.
True story. On our, you know, what do you call it? I don't know, just club soccer team. We actually had a player, and his name was Mike Hunt.
What's
as in hunting, right? Mike Hunt. But it was very hilarious to hear the coach yell his name from the sideline because it just didn't sound right. It was really hard not to be in hysterics when you're 14 and your coach is screaming that.
Right. So,
Oh, serious?
did you ever weaponize that against other teams?
No, we never told our coach, right? Because we loved him. He's a great guy, right? But when he would scream the name, I was like,
I'm sure your coach knew.
I don't know. Well, you know what?
It's not like our generation came up with that.
He all, you know, his kids were on the team, both of them, and he was a major in the reserves. I don't know how he didn't know, but he just would scream it at him. I don't know. I don't know. But when you're 14, it's hilarious.
I mean, a lot of things are hilarious when you're 14.
No. It's terrible. Terrible. Terrible.
It'll be all right.
We shall overcome.
I'm going on a plane here in like 4 hours. To
Really?
Florida.
In-
Yep. No. We're leaving at 3:30. No. We're going on Allegiance. I'm kind of worried about that, but
That's the only pop.
I was say you gotta love like Allegiant like is like Spirit where maybe you'll make it. Maybe you'll just get directed to a different city. It's only like a 2-hour flight, so I'm hoping for the best here. Yeah, well, I'm driving home. Mine's just flying down.
I
My
was
parents
muted
already
again,
down
sorry.
there,
It's
and then
the
we're
alt
gonna
key.
meet. Thank goodness I don't have to rely on them to come home.
Well,
Just
that's
my
good.
parents.
Well, that's
So
good.
it hopefully should be just fine. The car could break down, but we would just rent a car then. We wouldn't wait. My mom could buy cars on her credit card. They're like, they keep
Isn't that
giving
awesome?
her higher. It's higher and higher limits they keep giving her because they're like, hey, you make a lot of money, so you should get into debt and pay us a ton of interest. And she's like, ha 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 ha, no.
Every time,
Yes.
every time I overextend because I buy big things on my Costco card, right? Like I put a whole house generator and stuff like that, right? Every time I exceed my credit limit, they always approve it, and then I get an email 5 days later. Your credit limit has been increased too. Boom. I just laugh.
Well, and then my mom pays everything off in cash like the next day, so they're like no interest.
Yeah, I do wait till the edge of the no interest period, but yeah, I do the same thing. Mostly I use American Express anyway. Just those really big things that get your Costco points back to you. We got like a random email. What?
It was funny one day. We were shopping for cars because I needed a new car, and so did my brother needed a new car. This was like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and we're at the dealership, and the cars are like $4,000 and like $5,000 each. They're not that like expensive. We just need things from A to B. And my mom's just like, here you go, just swipe. Bought 2 cars, and I just got a personal loan to pay her back. So she got cash the next day and paid it off.
Yep, that's
but
just how you do
I
it.
just love that you can just walk in and just buy a car, buy a boat.
Buy a boat.
If she could have, she would have just bought the house in cash. But they decided that there was no benefit to doing that, so they went ahead and just got a mortgage on it.
There is no benefit to doing that.
Because they did the math, they would pay more taxes than they do on interest right now. So they're like, we'll just pay it off over time. Which is crazy. You should just be able to buy things.
I've heard of someone actually putting a car as a collateral for a loan.
You can't. Too much depreciation.
Yeah, it's a depreciating asset, so you wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, actually, not like right now.
Very fast, like a very, very, very short-term loan.
You mean more like
and literally came back, paid it off.
Actually,
like a week later, because it was actually less expensive to do that than to actually pay for parking.
What is it? Actually, now a lot of car companies in the U.S. are putting like a $10,000-$15,000 surcharge on a brand new car because they said you can drive it off the lot and you can, sell it for more than you paid for it off sticker price.
Well, if they changed the laws on how you can sell a car, they wouldn't have to do that. But because dealerships are assholes, this is what they get to deal with now.
Welcome to, I guess, capitalism.
Yeah, I can. They did offer me. My car's 2 years old, and they offered me what I bought it for to turn it in and buy a new one, way higher. But again, buy a new one, it's going to cost me more.
I've never had a new car. All my cars have been like 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, but they look good. The car I have now, I bought it like 70,000 miles.
I have
reconditioned cars, refurbished, all that good. It's all good.
Well, mine I think was a rental for a while, so it wasn't really used that hard.
Yes, it was.
I'm like,
strangely enough,
A to B. That's all I need.
Strangely enough, a lot of times, if you can get a former police car, like as long as it hasn't obviously been in a crash, like generally they're pretty good condition because they're always they're always serviced with the best parts.
The police auction lot's not that far from my house. I could just go over and buy a car for like $100. There might be some drugs in the trunk.
Yeah, it might be a little drug residue. Cop car.
Yeah, I guess so.
Someone was shot.
Doesn't that actually? Hang on, Dawn. Doesn't that go against your no licking policy?
Why would that be against the no licking policy?
She's
Well, I
I'm
mean,
not
if
gonna
it's
lick
got
the
drugs
car.
on it.
It's called snorting,
Okay,
not licking. I'm not gonna lick the
okay,
cocaine
so
out of the carpet here.
that's completely
Use straw.
fine then.
Yeah.
It depends quite how it goes into your system, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess the only positive thing that came out for this week is the whole like Flex for Good thing, because that closed Thursday.
Yeah, how did that? Do we know how much that ended up with at the end?
Yep, 500,000, just over 500,000.
Really?
Yeah,
That's nice.
crazy. So they have a how much was raised in each of the Flex for Good kind of campaigns previously, and the latest one basically blew all of them out of the water. Like the previously the highest previous one was for the Philippines in 2013 with 190,000. But yeah, 501,652. It is quite a lot of money, and that's fucking impressive.
Jeez. Oh.
I mean, well done for killing the conversation there, Mac. I
I
didn't
mean-
realize you turned into Sother Cell.
How you guys literally have nothing to say about this? Like, how
Well, Flex
fucking
for
dead
Good,
inside are
thumbs
you?
up.
Like, how fucking dead inside are you? All of you?
It's not a matter of being dead inside. It's a matter of wondering, can I really get away with asking how many javelins that buys?
I mean, you could say that. Like, totally fine. If it helps the situation, fuck it.
I mean, are we really asking the question of the panel about how dead inside everyone is? Is that a serious question that you want a serious answer to?
Well, we are pretty dead inside, let's be honest.
Exactly.
I mean, should I have asked that like last night when we were quite drunk still?
Yes.
I mean, the answer would have been, yeah, pretty fucking dead. So,
Fair enough.
physically,
It was the wrong crowd. It was the wrong crowd for me to ask that question to.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh,
I'm gonna take off for meetings. I gotta. Sure, that's really gonna happen.
I mean, hey, it's an Ellen meeting. It could be fun, possibly, maybe, once in a blue moon.
Never been in them. I don't know what happens in them.
I assume they talk about the events of the day, which are EVE Online at the minute.
It's going to be a fairly short meeting then.
Short
the
meeting?
events of the day. I mean, so much happening.
Hey, when a single high-sec miner can outmine, like, the majority of every other region, you can kind of tell the way EVE's going.
I mean, that... God, don't even get me started. That shit is so crazy. Like, how in the world is the rest of the game this bad at mining? That's all I gotta say. Cause
Wait, Dawn, you're telling me that you really don't have much to say on the topic of the MER and how the game is dead?
I mean, it's just insane. that, you know, the rest of the game can't figure out how to mine a fucking rock. Ever. And I just want to know how basically Delve supplies most of the games R64. Or actually anything. We even still do a decent amount of regular ore, which is terrible. I don't know.
So what you're saying is we maintain our advantage because we figure out how to play the game.
Apparently.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somebody hinted this to me, but like if you go to Eve Offline and you go to the Tranquility server, you go to like the Zoom section at the top,
Mm-hmm.
you know, where it has 36 hours all the way to like 5 years and all. You literally go to all and look at the averages. It's fucking hilarious because you go from all down to 36 hours. It is just slowly diminishing. It's like 37K, 34K, 28K, 27K, 21K, 19K. 2 weeks and 1 week is 19K, and then 36 hours is 18K. Like, oof.
It's just the slow
Oof.
decline.
So you go to Tranquility.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
So right at the top where it
You look
says
at the
EVE Online
graph.
Status Monitor, the graph at the top, above the graph at the top, it has a little zoom thing, and it's got buttons for like periodicity.
You should throw this up on the stream just to kind of demonstrate
I don't,
what Matt's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
The EVEOffline.net.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Server Tranquility.
Server Tranquility. There's this big graph at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Which says 20K period average, right?
Right.
And there's this little thing that says zoom above it, right?
I don't have a zoom above it.
The fuck?
Yeah. Oh, zoom. Okay. What? Oh, yeah. So you go to the 1 week.
And then you've got like 36
This
hours
really
all the way
needs
to
be
all.
on the stream.
36 hours.
So
Okay.
go to all, and then like drop that down from all down to 36 hours.
And it needs to happen on the stream. Let's show the people what Mac's talking about here.
I wanna watch it happen first. Okay. All right. So let's get that up.
You're basically just looking at the dotted period average line, but my god, does it tell a story.
And this is a long-standing site that has always been about
All right.
statistics.
So we're gonna
and
bring this
data.
up. Right. Let's make it nice and big. All right. So we've got it there. Right. Let's see. Of course, I covered up the stream.
Oh well.
We got it?
Fine for the minute.
We got it.
I mean, you could crop it, but yeah.
I could, but I won't. So we're gonna go to the y'all. This is the y'all.
Yep.
Right. And you want me to go to five years?
So that's the all at 37K period average, and then go to 5 years, and
34.
5 years is a 34K period average.
1 year.
1 year, 28. So that's a 6K drop in the period average over 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to the 6 month, you see a 1K drop in the period average in 6 months. Then the 3 month, you go to a 21K period average.
Ooh.
So within the space of 3 months, the average player base of EVE Online dropped by 6,000-ish people. And it doesn't get better from there. When you go from the 3 month
Ready?
to the 1 month.
It's kind of the same.
1 month, 19K.
20K.
One
That's
month
just a
shows
2-month
19K
period.
for me, but yeah, in a 2 month period, there's a drop of 2,000 people.
So we go to 2 week, 19K.
Yeah, so that's about the same, and then 1 week, 19K.
Wow.
But then the 36 hour on going into a weekend, We are going into a weekend. We should accept that,
But look,
we are not
they have
quite
all
at-
these newborn players this month. I mean, look at that. I mean, huge newborn. I mean, that number's just going to go up because they have what do they have, a 200% newborn player increase? That number's going up, man. I don't know what you guys.
Yeah, but you look at the newborns for the past 6 months, and you realize that like peak is not really big.
Look, newborns for 6 months.
So your peak is getting lower. So you have a peak here, then a peak here. So you have a downward trajectory on your stock. Yeah, that's not a buy. That's not even a hold. That's a sell. Okay. Yeah, they have all these newborn players, but they don't seem to get any more people. Okay.
The thing that really gets me about these graphs, though, right, is that CCP hates when we talk about these graphs. Because CCP wants us to think about the way the player base is changing in terms of their metrics and not the visible metrics. So they talk a lot about daily active users, they talk a lot about monthly active users, they talk a lot about people who basically register on the daily active user base because they log in.
For about 5 seconds. I've done this.
They don't want to talk about the sheer number of people in space, which is what the PCU demonstrates, just as a point, guys. The PCU demonstrates how many people are in space on average at any one point.
I mean, I don't know about you guys.
The PCU graph demonstrates that.
I don't know about you guys, but I have on occasion accidentally, started up the wrong fucking client. The wrong alt account. Before.
That's another daily active user.
Yeah, exactly. In error, completely in error. I wasn't going to do anything with it. I wasn't going to use it in any way, shape, or form. It was a misclick. But apparently, the misclicks are very important to CCP.
The misclick is important.
The thing about it is that players are more likely to show up on a PCU graph if they are playing for a period of 8 hours. If you are paying for a period of 8 hours, you have something in the region of a 33% chance of showing up on the PCU graph, right? 24 hours divided by 8 gives you 33 or so percent. If you then talk about people playing for a 4-hour session instead of an 8-hour session, so they're not marathoning Eve at that point, they're just kind of on a long session for a very long fleet or a particular objective, that becomes somewhere in the region of a 16.5% chance of showing up on the PCU if you're in the right time zone and that whole situation. But the way that EVE Offline shows things, you see the graph, and so you're going to be part of the graph somewhere.
But
if you then drop down to an hour and a half or an hour, then it starts to become a 10%, 8%-ish chance of being on the graph. I'm doing head maths here, so please somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But in terms of the amount of time people spend playing the game, the daily active users tells you, okay, that person has logged in to their account at some point. The PCU tells you how long these people are playing, roughly-ish, kind of, on average. And the PCU dropping is showing that people are playing Eve for less time on any given session, and potentially just playing Eve less. So they're not logging in every day, they're logging in every 2 days for their hour of industry, or whatever. You don't have to you do have to undock, in a sense sometimes for industry, but you could be doing industry from your station for an hour without ever undocking. You're not in space, but you're doing things for the game.
But you're gonna hate me for this, Dirk. But I've heard from sources, whether they're reliable, unreliable, you can you can have a guess, but I've heard that stats don't really you don't really show up on stats after if you log in after 2200 Eve.
I too have heard this. I too have heard this wild and unbelievably like dumbass claim. And the only way I can refute that is to point you at the EVE Online status monitor and say that the graph shows up after 2200 EVE. I've also not heard when you need to log in before to show up on their stats. Like, you don't show up after 2200 EVE, but if I log in before 2200 EVE, like, if I log in at 2201, do I show up as being before 2200 EVE on the next day?
No, you just vanish.
Like, what? How does this go? And you know what? Large Quave Zero asks a very good question in Twitch chat, which is that wouldn't we say that these drops could be caused by pandemic restrictions being lifted and it being springtime and better weather, and so people want to be outside more? And
I think the large majority of nerds who play this game came up with the came up with this realization when COVID hit and lockdown occurred. That their normal operating kind of way of life is called sheltering in place. And we were like, wait, is this what my lifestyle is called typically?
It's a good question though. Eve has typically seen kind of like seasonal fluctuations in that sense. People don't want to play as much during summer as they do, during winter, because that's just kind of the fluctuation of it.
We've had enough years to see the ebbs and flows over the year, right? Like,
yeah, and even if you look at the 5-year, you can see the kind of ebbs and flows, but you can also see the average decrease, right? Like the average numbers aren't decreasing year on year and decade on decade because of real life circumstances, though real life circumstances do affect things. I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying that if you look at the 5-year and account for the pandemic, you can actually kind of see it, because the pandemic really kind of started to show up late January, early February of 2020. The PCU for 2020 was 41,500 people. We also had a massive fucking war over the past 2 years, because people were inside and could do things. That helped keep the player base artificially up, because you can see as we kind of get to May and then into June of 2021, the PCU down spikes massively on the graph. And I appreciate Eric doesn't have this up anymore, but there's a massive down spike before the PCU starts to recover to the average of probably somewhere in the region of 30k over the last 6 months, which is...
do you remember when Blackout was?
By the
When was Blackout?
Blackout happened 2019, summer.
Like late.
Summer. July
summer.
through September, October time.
Okay, because I was basically taking because what you can do is you can do a zoom on, you can obviously select a periodicity on EVE Offline, but then you can grab it and run it around. And since its height, like, it's never been at the 28k period average, other than that period, over July to September, when it was 28k period. Like when it was a 28k average. Like, other than that, like, you scrub through, it's basically never been that like that.
Yeah, so basically, if you look at EVE Offline, the down spike that happened post the most recent big war is roughly equivalent to the down spike that happened when CCP introduced Blackout. Like the down spike basically saw the player base crater between mid-July and mid-September, which is
Of
when
2020?
CCP declared of 2019.
2019. Let's go.
I'm looking at the 5-year graph, just to give you an idea.
Oh,
of what I'm
5 year?
talking about.
Okay, let's go the 5 year.
So you can use the Zoom things like
There you
just the duration.
There you go.
Yeah, so what I'm talking about on the 5-year is you can see the kind of down spike happening around mid-2019, which starts off way back in May as a general trend, but really craters to that really low point in September, which is about when CCP announced that the blackout was ending, and yeah, they
And then it starts recovering.
the player base starts recovering. And then you take a look at what happened in May 2021, and it's about the equivalent in terms of the down spike. It
It's
goes
a bit
from
deeper.
above
Little
it goes
deeper.
from above 30k ish to like 23, 24 ish, and then it starts recovering. But that crash almost directly correlates with the end of the last war. And also, as pointed out by Logic Wave Zero, the real life restrictions kind of easing up. That they kind of started to ease up around May of 2021 as we went into summer, and then they kind of came back in again, and it's been a bouncy period. But there was a real life impact on that. But also there was just this idea that the war was what people were playing for. There is no other content that is engaging people.
So what you're saying is nullsec wars, like big wars, inspire players.
What I'm saying is that big events that engage multiple communities in EVE Online inspire people playing EVE Online.
Amazing how that happens.
More so than Space Mouse? Or Space Mice?
Space Mouse has been the biggest aspect of me logging into EVE over the last day and a half. I got a new Space Mouse toy, which has been a ton of fun to play around with in EVE. It's great for camera work by the looks, and like I'm really enjoying just flying about and learning how it works. And I've come to appreciate that EVE is a really pretty game. A lot more in the last day or so.
You know, you can like exemplify that a little bit more if you actually have an NVIDIA card. You can add some NVIDIA effects, like post processing effects to that as well.
Nah.
I did not, but I'll try and take a look at that. But like,
Look. Just cranking up the vibrance is not making it prettier, okay? It makes my eyes
but it is a really pretty game.
It is.
It's also a really pretty game that I don't like playing at the minute.
Actually, I want to say something to any, like, I mean, I don't know if there's any CCPers who watch this. Maybe there might be some CCP like art devs who may watch this, because generally we never actually shit on art devs in any way, shape, or form.
Shout out to Karen.
Yeah. But the one thing which I remember seeing on, you know, the sort of post processing that you can do in GeForce experience on the game, the one thing which I was really hoping would actually work really well is the like depth of field effects. And for some reason, the depth of field effects don't seem to work really that well, because it doesn't seem to be able to position or grab the like the subject in order to be able to determine what's, you know, what should be like blurred in the background and what's not, kind of, and what shouldn't be, kind of thing. If somebody could work that out so it worked properly, that would be amazing, because like there's like some depth of field effects would be amazing in terms of cinematography in EVE. I just wanted to say that.
But yeah, like, this is the thing that really gets me at the minute, is that EVE is a really pretty game. EVE is a great game in terms of the community that we have, and we get on air every fucking week to chat about this shit. And in terms of our regular logins, how's that going for people? And Dawn logs into mine because Dawn's a miner. Mac logs in for the occasional fight. Soth, I don't even know. You log in to do tournament stuff in the same way that I log in to do tournament stuff, I guess.
Hey! I logged in the other day, and I flew in a fleet, and I even lost a ship. Okay.
Oh god, you didn't lose a
Wow.
Mackerel, did you?
No, I lost a Bazzi.
Well, you weren't in a Mackerel?
No, Arendis yelled at me to log in because they needed more Bazzies, so I blame him.
But yeah, like in terms of actually playing the game, would you have logged in to go on that fleet if you hadn't been yelled at, Soth?
Fuck no.
Yeah, like we have Friday night drinks, and last night I was streaming my fun with the new toy, and that was probably the most time I've spent logged into EVE in 6 months. I was logged in for like 5 hours, just flying around the G244 and dock and having fun with it.
I mean, it's almost as captivating, like when you're doing it. Like you'll attest this, right? Like it's almost as captivating as like watching fireworks. Like,
yeah, I see. That's the thing, right? I was having fun, just fucking around on the G2 undock with my new toy. I was having fun with it. I don't have fun with a lot of the other things at the minute, just because of the way the game has changed and not for the better. It's a game. You're supposed to have fun with it. CCP, please, just like listen to what we're telling you about how the fuck we want to have fun with it.
So here's another thing, Dirk. Like, can you imagine, considering you have a space mouse and what you can do with it, right? Can you imagine if you had a battle recorder? Like, if you had a recorder that could replay battles that you were in, that only showed the information that was available to you to see. So basically, like if there's cloaked ships around, you wouldn't be able to see
around.
You could freeze frame it. You could like go it forward, go backward. You could play it at half speed, play it at quarter speed. Like you could play it without like server kind of issues causing it to sort of slow down to like a snail's pace, that kind of thing. Like if you could launch that as a separate thing to replay a battle that you were in or that you're a part of, up until obviously you died or you left the field, that kind of thing. Like, could you imagine how much cool shit you could make and how well this game would be kind of displayed and like, in terms of like content creation? Like,
that would absolutely be incredible to have a recording of a 10% tie-dye fleet and then to just be able to kind of
speed it up.
Replay.
Yeah.
If you up the replay to have things happen in real time and be able to like zoom about just for camera stuff even, that would be incredible. It would be much fun.
Like, a lot of people will say like, oh, but that will give people the impression that like the game could be played at this speed and all that kind of stuff. Like we give people that impression anyway. Like people who capture like fights at 10% tie-dye. Mm-hmm. Like, do you think they make like videos of it at 10% like at the real time like tie-dye speed? Yeah. Like no, they don't. They literally speed it up by 1,000% to sort of get it basically out of tie-dye.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because no one wants to actually watch, a piece about a battle, that happens in time, like at the time that it, or at the speed that it was actually sort of experienced at.
I mean, there was a comment that as I was just kind of like zooming around the undock yesterday, that I was making a trailer for EVE Online because in terms of the way that you can look at the ships and everything,
mm-hmm.
it's great, and I wouldn't even need to add audio necessarily. You could just frame it as a trailer that you know, in space, nobody can hear you scream, and just have this zero background noise trailer of EVE Online just kind of showing ships in a really cool way. And
There's no such thing as cool here. What are you talking about? Not allowed.
Hey, the art department's cool. Okay, we're just gonna go
the
on
art
record.
department are great. They've
We
been
love
on this
them.
show. We love them. We love the sound department as well.
Yep.
Sorry, sound department. EVE doesn't have sound, but we love you anyway.
We do.
Yeah, it's just great. It's so it could be so much fun and so interesting, and yet we don't have it.
And I know for a fact that, like, you know, a battle recorder has been like a thing that the community has wanted for going on a decade at least.
We've talked about so many different bits of features that we'd love to see in EVE. And unfortunately, it's almost like CCP won't give us them because the community suggested that it would be a good idea.
You know, there was something that was kind of getting close to a battle recorder, because, like, at one point, CCP was pushing out from, I think it was, it wasn't API endpoints. It was, I think, the sort of ESI endpoints now, right? They were pushing out ESI endpoints for locations of ships and stuff like that with the Alliance tournament. So you could take that information and put it into a 3D web browser or a 3D web space, as it were, and like actually plot the the ships and how fast they flew, where they flew, and all that kind of stuff in a 3D space, and play it backwards and forwards. And I think there was a site that kind of did that for the AT for a little bit. It was actually pretty cool.
So we've had a question in Twitch chat from Large Zero, which is, when is enough when it comes to changes? At what point will we say the game is good?
When it actually works.
I mean,
This is where you kind of like, you know, cross between, you know, whether you're just whether you just talk about the game or whether you're a critic of the game. Because, like, if you're a critic of the game, I think, like, you're never going to be saying enough is enough, right? Because you're always critical. That's what being a critic is. But, you know, I can enjoy the game and still be a critic. But, like, when I'm not playing the game or not wanting or not feeling like I'm being engaged by the game in any way, shape, or form, then yeah, that's where I start to lose faith.
I think that a game should be evolving with either the way that the players who are there want to play, as well as generating new content and finding good ways to actually get it implemented in. And then be willing to say, like, hey, we tried something. It didn't work out the way we thought it was going to. We're going to keep working on it to make it better. Because, like, there's tons of games out there that add fun content that, you know, doesn't completely destroy everybody else's previous content. You know? Like, when I like to play Warframe every now and then, and they have their normal stuff, but then they added, like, this spaceship combat. But that spaceship combat doesn't stop you from doing what you were doing before. It's just another thing you can do. In EVE, they're like, hey, I know you like that wormhole mining or whatever, right? We're going to fuck that over. Because we want to change the content to something. We want to change some of the mechanics for somebody else. And I mean, it's hard when you have such an integrated game where each part of space affects each other, but they cannot help themselves. They are like, what playstyle can we destroy today on almost every change? And then, like, 4 years later, they'll be like, oh, hey, we brought it back. Aren't you happy we brought it back? It's like, why did you take it away in the first place?
I kind of feel like they don't specifically go out and be like, okay, which part of the game do we want to destroy
I
next?
believe
Like,
they do.
I think they don't realize that's what they do. I think what they initially kind of think of is, there is a bunch of unintended behavior happening, and that is something that we weren't anticipating. And so, how can we curtail that so that the action and the things that are happening are the things that we expected? And that's the shit that is killing the game. That is the ideology that is killing the game. Because in a sandbox, you create the tools for the players to make up how they want to approach the game, and you don't solve all of the scenarios, all of the issues, because some of the issues need to be solved by players using the tools that you create.
There you go.
It is only the most egregious stuff that you need to sort of look into. And even then, you take a tentative approach, and you take a very scientific approach. You don't change 17,000 things, because then at the same time, because then you don't know which one affected the what you wanted to change in the correct way, or you don't know whether something that was would have affected it in a positive way was negated by something else that you changed.
All right. So, as we do a little time check here, it is 1 minute. So let's go around the horn for one last thing. Dawn, ladies first.
Dawn.
Did we lose her?
Dawn, spotlight's on you. Either that or she's been attacked by her cats.
No, I don't know.
If she'd been attacked by her cats, we would have heard it.
Dirk, you're up.
Actually,
I'm gonna congratulate, or give my congratulations to CCP Kestrel once again. Good job on the new job, buddy, and I hope the the game and the company sticks around for long enough for you to see that as a good decision. I'm also gonna go ahead and plug not the Matter Show, but the Anger Games 5 Open Series, which we have been streaming on INN for the last couple of weekends, and we'll be back with INN tomorrow late, at the late time of 2300 Eve. We'll be here with a bunch of teams, doing a bunch of fights, generally streaming and getting everything in gear for the proper Anger Games. It's been a ton of fun so far, and we hope to see you there.
Alrighty. Soth?
I hate it when he does not.
Really?
Taking my talking points. That's so
if we only
unfair.
had show notes to say who would say what. Who knows?
If you actually had talking points, so.
If I actually had talking points, yeah. Who wanted to get me talking points?
I know. And, it's just never kind of worked out, but you're bad at doing it off the cuff, so I do it.
Right.
So what's your one last thing, Soth?
I got nothing. I'm working on stuff for tomorrow's stream, so there's that.
New stuff tomorrow on the Anger Games 5 Opens. Tune in and you'll get to see it. How difficult is that, Soth? Come on, man. Do we have to teach you everything live on stream?
Hey, I said I'm working on it, not that it will be ready tomorrow.
Well, I've said it now, so get to work.
Oh, phew. Really? McLeod, save us.
Completely separate talking points from Dirk or Sothrasil. I hope, Satonia, you can actually do something positive to CCP. Good luck on that one for sure. But you've got a particularly steep hill to climb there. But I'm sure you'll make the best of it in some way, shape, or form. And Anger Games is on tomorrow. Obviously, that you heard from Dirk and Soth. And if you are going to be checking it out, then make sure that if you see anything, even remotely tiny, small, like infinitesimally small and incorrect about that stream whatsoever, you best say something in chat about it.
That's right.
I
All
hate
of
you.
the passive aggressive feedback. We
All right.
love your feedback. We love your ship toasting. Seriously, we don't know what we would do without it.
That's right.
I'm just going to say this: if people here were watching the day 2 Anger Games, like I intentionally didn't lock that other Ishtar just to annoy you guys.
All right.
The ./s is real.
I want to thank all our co-hosts this week. We had lots. Hi, everybody. Mike Flood, everybody come in, and obviously the gentlemen that are with us here today. We wish Dawn a safe and comfortable flight, right? And thank you, everybody, for spending some time this Saturday with us here. We really appreciate that you show up and listen to us yammer. And with that, we are out of here.
Ciao.